Hey, how's it going, guys? Ricky Summer here, and today I've come back in time to play Sevagoth for the very first time. But first, a message from our sponsor.
The Salus Company. Safety and security in luxurious style.
Tenno, listen, I've got a confession to make. I know everyone's super excited for me to play Sevagoth. I just think it's just too edgy for me, you know? He does look cool. He does. He's so edgy, though. I gotta be honest, though. Like, if you take away... Can we just... Yeah. Like, the fact that his arms are kind of hidden, I'm sort of into that. Alright, so I know... All I know about Sevagoth is he's an edgy lord. He's got two forms, and everyone's pogging out about gloom. Like, everyone wants to subsume gloom onto things. I don't know. I'm ready. Look, let's start off by reading the Edgelord's blurb. The storm-swept, void-wandering Warframe has returned to harvest living souls. Send forth his shadow to reap the life of the unwary. Oh my god, it's so edgy. It's like angsty teen Davy Jones. Alright, look, let's have a look at his abilities, and I'm gonna give him a chance. Because everyone loves him. I'm gonna give him a chance. Abilities, let's do it. Alright, I mean, look, it cannot be denied. My man's got some immaculate purple conditioning here. And I mean, like, a sort of magenta situation, which is the creepiest of all perp affiliates, make no mistake. Let's start with the passive. On death, become Sevagoth's shadow and fight to resurrect him by collecting the souls needed to rebuild his tombstone. Alright, you slick son of a bitch, you've got me at the get-go. You guys know I'm a sucker for a unique resurrection mechanic. Collecting the souls, so I'm assuming this is just like racking up kills. That's fine. So this is probably reminiscent of the very short amount of time we got to play him during the cold below. What was it called? What was that? The depth. I forgot what the quest was called, but you know, sleeping in the cold below. Sisters below. Magnificent sequence. Anyway, first ability, Reap. Sevagoth's shadow flies outward, ravaging enemies in his path. Survivors are damaged by death's harvest over time. The souls of the dead fill the death well. There's a death well? Okay, look, I'm starting to pog up a little bit here. It does radiation damage, which is interesting. Okay, so we've got a death well. We're filling up a well of souls that we're presumably going to use as a resource. There's also Death's Harvest, which I'm not sure what that is yet. Alright, next ability. Sow. Plant a death seed in nearby targets to drain their life force. Reap what has been sown to detonate afflicted enemies, dealing a percentage of their health as radial damage. The souls of the dead fill the well. Okay, alright. I'm starting to get vibes of like, alright, you know every action RPG that has, or MMO or whatever, that has a necromancer class that doesn't have summons, or has a tree that is dedicated to things that are not summons, you know? That's what it's starting to feel like a little bit to me. So this one, I think I'm going to take a second to wrap my head around this. So he's draining life force, so presumably that's life steal, I'm assuming? Maybe? Or maybe it's like just flavor, you know, we're draining life force, we're doing damage, because it's a dot, damage per second. It doesn't indicate like health back life steal. Alright, I'm going to assume no life steal. And then reap what has been sown to yeah, okay. It's all very angsty flavor text here. Detonate afflicted enemies, dealing a percentage of their health as rate. Okay, so basically it's a dot, then we can detonate them to do radial damage. So we've got an AoE. That's pretty cool. And then, you know, more souls for the well, which we will find out what that does at a later date. All right, here we go. This is the one that everyone pogs out about. Gloom. Summon a radial pulse wave that ensnares and slows enemies, siphoning their life force for the death well. Allies within the wave steal health with each attack. There you go. There's your life steal. So that's why everyone pogs out about it, because we've got life steal. That being said, just as an aside, if you subsume Gloom onto another frame, Does that mean you get access to Deathwell? Because we're still filling up the well here. I can only assume that the 4th ability uses the well. Okay. I'm just thinking of, like, rotation here, how this works. Summon a radial pulse wave that ensnares and slows enemies. It looks like it attaches to him, I think. So I'm just wondering, like, when do you use Gloom as opposed to Sow, as opposed to Reap? We're just filling up this well. Look, we'll figure it out. We'll play around with him. We'll see how it goes. Exalted Shadow. When the death well fills, Sevagoth's shadow form is ready to be released. Tear the enemy asunder with a collection of melee-focused abilities. Right. So his shadow form doesn't have... I was under the impression that his shadow form had, like, its own set of abilities, but maybe that's not true. I'm kind of glad if it doesn't, because then that's less abilities I have to try to remember. Okay, so that's just, like, big melee mode. And we're using the well. Now, does the well become our energy for that mode? And it's basically when the well is depleted, we are no longer in Exalted Shadow form. If it's as simple as that, I mean, I guess everything's leading towards the 4 there, so you want to hope it's pretty good. I'm given to understand that you obviously can mod him. You can mod his claws, I think, maybe, and his shadow separately, which is very interesting. I'm very excited for that. Okay, look, I'm mildly on board. I don't immediately see how all the previous 3 abilities, how they fit into a rotation, how they lock together, but it seems like everything is building towards Exalted Shadow. Not super into melee frames, but I'm ready for it. I'm ready to appreciate what we have here. Let's have a look at the tips. Sevagoth's Shadow has a limited amount of time to revive Sevagoth when he is downed. Shadow's Consume ability becomes far more deadly during this time to collect the required souls to revive. Shadow's Consume ability? So again, is that implying that maybe we do have actual abilities, like separate abilities for the Shadow? So how do we see what those are? Or do we just have to figure it out? Aim down sights after casting Reap to direct Sevagoth's Shadow for the duration it is active. Oh, that's very cool. Okay. So, we got some homing Shadow. Yeah. Okay. Like, it's direct, pointed towards the crowds. And watch chaos rain down upon them. The slowing effect of Gloom scales with ability strength mods and stacks with other slowing effects like Cold Damage's status effect. Right? So I wonder if we want to lean into the slow there, or if that's less of a concern. I guess we'll find out. Sevagoth's Shadow can perform all melee attacks and uses both the melee and fire weapon inputs to do so. Okay, hang on, both the melee... Yeah, for a second I had a brain fart and I'm like, but isn't melee just a fire weapons? No, it's not, because melee is with E. Look, it's been a tough week, guys. Sevagoth's Shadow can be activated once the death well is at least 75% full. Ah, okay. That's good to know. So you can't just, like, fill it up. You can't fill up the tank with $20 worth of petrol and then, see that out for the rest of the week. You gotta get it up there. That's unfortunate with petrol prices well over $2 a litre at the moment. Listen, I'm actually tempted to get an e-bike as a result. But that's neither here nor there. Sevagoth's Shadow will remain active until it is killed. The death well drains completely, or when Reunite is cast. Reunite. See, again, is this just referencing an ability that the Shadow has? That's kind of annoying that we can't see that. There's got to be a way to see it. Maybe once we unlock it, we can... I don't know. We'll figure it out. Cast Embrace with Sevagoth's Shadow to set up group melee kills or to pull enemies into range for Death's Harvest. Again, more abilities that I can't see yet, which is a little bit annoying. But group melee kills is something I'm 100% here for. Cast Consume in Sevagoth's Shadow without a target for added horizontal mobility. Great. This is great. This is like reading beginning at the middle of the book. And it's like, who is that? Who's this guy? Minimize Sevagoth's Shadow's downtime by casting Death's Harvest to infect enemies before switching back to Sevagoth to kill affected enemies and fill the death well. What the F Mother Sam Hill Christ is this about? Death's Harvest. Man, I almost feel like we're going to have to rank him up to unlock the shadow form. And then do a whole other abilities section just to figure out what the hell is all about. So, I mean, like, the vast majority of these tips are leading towards the shadow. It's just like, reap, sow, gloom, who, you know? Forget about that shit. It's all about the shadow. Very interesting if true. Reuniting Sevagoth's shadow with Sevagoth restores some of his health. The longer they are separated, the greater the healing from reunite. Ah, okay, we've got a clue. So reunite is probably just like the 4 ability of the shadow, I'm assuming, to rejoin them. Okay, that's fine. We're a quarter of the way there. All right, let's mod this lord up. What do we have in the way? Oh, yo, he's got an undingled aura. That's very curious. I'll put Energy Siphon in there for the moment just because I don't know. I don't know what we're going to need. I mean, if I put, hang on. It seems like Intensify is going to have some big ups on a number of different things. I mean, Sow is pretty standard. Damage Vulnerability, that seems important. And then increases the Slow of Gloom. I wonder if maybe that's worth it. And then I probably want to throw like Streamline on there as well. How much energy does he have? Maybe Flow instead. That's not how you spell flow. And one more, Adaptation. I don't know. Yeah, I'll throw Adaptation on there. I don't know how squishy or otherwise he is. I'm fairly happy with this as just sort of a vanilla starter pack. Let's see what happens sort of thing. All right, let's fashion this lord. Alrighty, let's get down to the good shit. Let's start off with the animation. The specific oh, yo! Is he presenting the noble? I don't know, man. Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. Like, this is very overtly edgy. And this is subtly edgy. But I feel like the overt edginess might serve us better. Why? Because just own it, you know? There's no point hiding what you are. As soon as you hide it, then it starts to get a little bit... We're gonna go with the overt edginess here. And I'm thinking, like, I know this may seem like a betrayal to some of you, but these purple sections are metallic. So, I mean... We're probably gonna have to gold them. That being said, like, oh man, I don't know. I think I need to beige. I think I need to beige him. All right, what if we make his overcoat purple? Oh, I don't know about that. That might be a little bit extreme. Hang on. Let's continue on with it. Let's see how we go. A bit of an accent here. Yo, I can deal with it. Like we're firmly delving into edge territory here. Gold up his bits. This is maybe too far back off to a bad start here. Let's go the heavy pink, and then I think we need to revert that back. In fact, maybe no, he's too white now. But we're on the right track. We're on the right track, I can assure you. I think this is wrong. What have I done wrong? See, here's the thing. I overestimated the whiteness of his default form. I think that's probably closer to the mark. I mean, he's pretty good as default. And I've kind of made it worse. But you know what? I'm going to lean into it. Guys, I'm going to lean into it. All right, let's take him out of the stable, see how he plays. Oh no, I'm stuck up in the banana hammock. How do I get out, man? How do I get out? Yo, let's go. Oh, I've died? Just straight up? Okay, so now I'm Shadow Lord. I'm just dead. Oh, that's just way too much for me to deal with straight off of the bat here. Okay, so let's try out this shadow throwing escapade. Look at this, like it's actually magnificently homable. I'm not sure I can really rely on it for damage. Plus it also does this thing, like it says it does damage with Death's Harvest. Now is Death's Harvest like a status effect that they haven't told us about at all yet? Or is Death's Harvest an ability in the shadow form that I don't yet have? These are the questions that I want answered, and I'm sure will be revealed to me in due time. All right, let's get back to it. There you go. I quite like that. It's very malleable. All right, we've just unlocked the interesting one. Let's plant the seed of death. Plant the seed of death. And then presumably, do I hold it? What do I do? Hang on. Let me try this again. You can only cast it one at a time. All right, let's try this again. So it's just on the spot? Hang on, I need to figure out how this works. Because it seems like you can detonate it. Now, maybe it detonates automatically. Let's get into the fray here. The Walder fray. Hello. All right, I've planted the seed of death. Now what? Killing them does nothing. Let's try this again. Seed of death. Let it hang out here. And then it just goes away. Seed of death. What if I double seed it? I can't double seed it. I can't hold it. I may have to go to the wiki on this one. Oh, you gotta reap it. See, all right, listen, hang on. In fairness, firstly, that's a little bit ambiguous. Secondly, reap is capitalized because it's at the beginning of a sentence. If reap wasn't the first word of that sentence, it would be clearer that they're referring to the ability reap. Anyway, it's all just excuses ultimately. I get it. And take my seed. There you go. Okay. So you slide into the piece here. There, that's the combo. See, now I understand the combo. Alright, so already straight off the bat, we've got a slick 1-2. And Dad's here to help us out, which is how you know we're on the winning path. Enjoy my seed, and then fully explode. See, that seems like a much better way of doing business. Rather than just reaping all over the place. Big seed. See, just for that interaction alone, I would want to hype up stretch. I want to get some range going on over here. Have you heard the good word about my seed? Experience my seed, please. You love to seed it. Oh, yo, I've just realized he's got a unique dodge. You know how I feel about that? All right, we've unlocked Gloom. Finally, let's do it. Pop the Gloom. So now, as we attack... Oh, right, it stays on me. So as we attack, we should be stealing health back. Right? Yes, it seems to be working, baby. So close quarters hits. Now, here's an interesting question, if I do say so myself. Can we cast Gloom, then go into Shadow form, and have Gloom stick on us in Shadow form? If we can, that's potentially huge, but maybe also irrelevant because Shadow Form doesn't have health, I don't think. It's just based on the well counter, essentially. Yo, this lasts for a while. Wait, is this just on forever? Is this a toggle forever? It freaking is. How does it drain energy? What? No. What? No. That would just be too powerful. Unless it's just on forever. Hang on. We need to go back to the tapes on this one. Drain. It costs 50. Energy drain. Energy enemy drain. Maybe it drains per enemy in range. Which is actually incredible because that means it doesn't drain when no one's in range. So we're not just wasting it. Now it's draining, but so slow. Oh, that's incredible. Dude, I'm down. I'm down. Save me from myself. Okay. Okay, I gotta get used to this. This is a nightmare. That was not enough. That was not enough. Considering all this, I feel like we might want a mod for increased health, right? So we got a big health pool for us to replenish with Gloom. Which we can just keep up at all times, apparently. Alright, I take back everything I've ever said, ever. Gloom is incredible. Sisters below, below, we're going where the winds don't blow. Yes, we're all bound down to the deep, and we'll all be sleeping in the cold below, below. Sleeping in the cold below. When it down, flip, when it down, when it down, All right, we've unlocked the Exalted Shadow, and I'm ready. So what's the... Ah, this is much easier to control. This is good. Okay, so we're just in here. Right, so my man does have health. So what I want to test next is popping 3, then going... Oh, it remains on the frame. But, presumably, you could just... Hang on, let me take some damage. Okay, guys, get over here, man. Okay. It works! That works, man! So you can create like a little defensive well at the side of your frame. That's actually really cool. I quite like that. I quite like that quite a bit, man. So, alright. I'm actually super tempted to mod hugely for range. To get this Lord up nice and big. Plus, so I want that nice and big as well. Okay, what happens if... So those are the clicks. That's what the clicks do. And then we go... Big melees, all the corkscrew? That's something else entirely. Oh, man. Okay. Like, this is a whole situation. But then we've got... That's consume. Hang on. Alright, so we gotta try and test these other abilities now. Man, it's a whole other frame. Juice me up, father. Let's get in here. Okay. So this is embrace. And what? What just happened? I guess I died. I guess that's what it was. Let's go back. Take me back. That's consume. That's Death's Harvest. 3 is Death's Harvest. Alright, let's reap them up, baby. Slide into the piece. Death's Harvest, which seems to have a radius around it. Interesting. Interesting if true. Take me back. Take me back. And then if I hit 4, we go back. That's reunite. Oh, buddy. Straight up, I'm going to have to pore over the abilities page again. And get chat to help me. Because I got to remember 2 frames worth of abilities now. Oh, what a whole kit and caboodle. Oh, man. Listen. He's about as involved as I was expecting, which is, I think, why I was a little bit apprehensive about Sevagoth, aside from his inherent edginess. I do love his helmet, though. It looks like it's, like, very stylish sci-fi, like, pirate captain's helmet. By the hat. Really big one. Commodore. Alright, so is there any way to have abilities? There you go. So that's his shadow, and we can color that independently. That's pretty cool. That's like, we'll get to that, make no mistake. But let's have a look at his abilities here, because damn. Embrace. Ghostly hands pull enemies into a flailing mass. Okay, so it's just a schlorp, and then we can go nuts. Consume. Dash through enemies and rip out their souls to heal. Ah! So that will heal us. Good to know, but it's got 15% lifesteal. And presumably, we can increase that with Intensify, maybe? We'll see. He does radiation damage. It seems odd to me, but I'm here for it. Death's Harvest, here we go. Inflict nearby enemies with a harrowing condition. Okay, so this is the ambiguous thing here. So, Death's Harvest is something that you inflict with, just as the other ability is. I forgot what, Reap. So Reap also inflicts. So, does it matter which one gets inflicted first? Or as long as they both, if they have both? It's probably a better practice to just Reap, because then we fill up the well, then we go into Shadow form, and then we hit Death's Harvest to do extra damage. I'm assuming that's how that works. But it's in a radius, so we want to increase that radius ideally. I think range is going to be big on this Lord. And then finally reunite. Sevagoth and his shadow become one again. Yeah, right. Aim down sights after casting it. It's the same tips, luckily. But yeah, like, he is his shadow. Like, the frame is the shadow. Evidenced by just how shadow-centric the tips are. Just the tip. Okay, so let's start off with the main frame here. Let's go with Vitality to start with. Just because I'm really, really liking Gloom, and having more of a buffer to heal, I think is going to really work for me. That being said, I think ultimately, high health plus adaptation, intensify, range, and then any energy abilities we may need. Ideally, I think that would be great. That's what I'm currently thinking. But you guys let me know what you think in the comments below. Okay, we're going to leave this as is for now. Let's go over to the Shadow. Steel Charge. That's perfect for him. Melee damage, right? Intensify, stretch. Yo, we can put a lot on this Lord. So what does that do for us right now? So we're up to 17.4 meters from 12 on Embrace, 11.6 on Consume, and 7.25 on Death's Harvest, which is what I really want there. Wow, that's actually upped the damage hugely. That's pretty good. I don't know if we want to up duration as well. We probably have the room for it. So here's the thing though. They do cost energy. Okay, so that's good to know. So Streamline's probably useful. What if I also go Augur Secrets and Augur Reach? Yo, Hunter Adrenaline though? Actually, I'm thinking Hunter Adrenaline might be dope on the mainframe as well. Actually, you know what? Probably, no. Probably more so. You know what? I'm going to go Hunter Adrenaline. We're going to leave it at that. Throw on the Arcanes. Okay, let's have a look at the claws. Look at these ridiculous bad boys. When the Deathwell fills, Sevagoth's shadow form is ready to be released. On melee kill, increased attack speed, stacks. I feel like chat's going to love that. But we'll see. Okay, hang on. What if we do this instead? Let's get some status going. Let's slap that on there. We'll get some viral going. If no one disagrees. Oh, the slide attack. I'm going to do more slide attacks. I didn't even try the slam attack, man. Hold up. I'll be right back. You ever been slam attacked before? The slide. Hang on. Okay. It's a bit of a ginger slide. Very, very gingerly. Just, it's a pirouette, really, if anything. But I see you. I see you pirouetting. It's so gentle. Oh my. Alright, listen. Straight up, playing Sevagoth is giving me strong nostalgia for the Call of the Tempestari quest. Man, that was such a good quest. And it's just, I just want to sing Sleeping in the Cold Below the whole time while I'm playing this, man. And somehow that is overshadowing any of his abilities. Just that nostalgia alone makes me want to play him, despite what I may or may not think about his abilities. That being said, and this may be blasphemy, Exalted Shadow isn't really doing it for me. However, having Glow on 100% of the time, popping Sow, and then reaping and watching everyone explode is incredible. I really like that gameplay. I don't know. I feel like trying to shoehorn Exalted Shadow into that as well, it just feels maybe unnecessary. I think I'd prefer to focus on Exalted Shadow more within the context of his passive. So as the revive ability, which I still haven't actually got to work successfully. It's just when that happens, I think it's just a little bit too frantic and I need to pay attention more to maybe counters or something. Plus in that form, it's a little bit unwieldy. Like he feels more like a projectile weapon more than an actual frame with melee attacks or something. Anyway, look, I'm really interested to see what everyone says on stream and the advice that I get. Maybe I'll come to appreciate Exalted Shadow as we rank up a little more. But yeah, absolutely, as it currently stands with the current mods, Gloom, Sow, Reap. Huge tier. I love it. Alright, so let's do the time jump. We'll rank them up, we'll play them on stream, I'll get your thoughts, opinions, and deepest salacious cold below desires. I don't know what that meant. Alright, let's roll our load and go. I'll see you in a second. Tenno, listen, I'll be honest. I wasn't sold on Sevagoth initially. He's an edgy boy, it's thrown me off a little bit, but now I'm mostly partially fully on board. So I'm gonna hit the 3. You get the big range on that big old life-stealing well, ready to go. Slide into the piece here. Pop the 2, never mind, they're already dead. Let's find some more boys. I need many men, so that I may deliver unto them my seed, alright? Experience my seed. The 1, the explosion begins. That's how you do it. If that's all he did, I'd be 100% down with him. Now, I'll be honest, I'm not fully 100% sold on the Shadow. I don't know, it just feels like an extra step that is, as of right now, largely unnecessary for me. That being said, I have actually found use in the Shadow, specifically in the situation where the mainframe is losing health rapidly, Gloom is not able to keep up. So then you swap to the Shadow real quick, which I can't do currently because I don't have enough juice, but we'll get there. You swap to the Shadow real quick, and you use it as a buffer. Use it as an oh shit button. And then, of course, the longer you stay in the Shadow, when you come back to the regular frame, you get a big health bump. So in that regard, it's actually fantastic. Let me just give these men my seed real quick. That being said, you know, the way I currently have the claws and the Shadow modded, he certainly feels a lot more capable than he did before. So even just purely from a melee standpoint, like you look, it feels pretty good here. All right, listen, let's slide into the piece here on mods. So we've gone with Steel Charge. It was a little bit ambiguous. I don't think anyone could answer whether the two auras from the mainframe and the Shadow stack. It'd be really cool if they did. So double Steel Charge. Probably no though, right? We've gone with Vitality so that I can maximize the healing pool. Essentially maximize the buffer of health that I can heal with Gloom. We've also got Intensify. And Flow, hang on. August Secrets, Adrenaline. I could have sworn that I had Stretch on here. Maybe I just talked about putting Stretch on. I've been playing under the impression that I had Stretch on. So considering how big the radius of Gloom is currently at max rank, it's at 16 meters right now. Just out of curiosity. If I was better at math, I could tell you this without actually having to go through the process of doing it. 23.2 meters if we put Stretch on? Obviously, if I were to Former this Lord or Potato him, I'd put Stretch on there because I'm loving that big situation. Then I could use Kuvachagor or whatever. Like I could use a ranged weapon to trigger Gloom more easily. I mean, I'm almost at the point where I can anyway. The range is so big. But anyway, look, I love the way Gloom works. I love that the radius is currently so huge. So I figured Hunter Adrenaline would be a good strat because I'm going in for melee and reaping that health back with Gloom anyway. So if I'm taking more damage in that case, in theory, and healing it, so I'll be getting energy back anyway. So this seemed like a good strat to me. I put Flow on there because I think his base energy is only like 150, I think. And it was recommended to me that the big strength, building for big strength was the way to go. And yeah, I can see how that would be beneficial. All right, let's move over to the Shadow. All right, interestingly enough, this Lord could be properly filled up. So similar thing, Hunter Adrenaline. I found myself to be a little bit squishy as the Shadow and run out of energy really, really quickly. So considering that the Shadow is very melee focused, this seemed like the correct strat to me. We've got Streamline, Stretch, Augur Secrets, Augur Reach, Adaptation, Umbral Intensify, Flow, for mostly all of the same reasons that I put many of these things on the mainframe as well. I'm not like huge deep into the Shadow gameplay, but it certainly feels a lot more capable, and more so because of the claws. Alright, so there was a little bit of a debate as to what to put in this slot here. I actually didn't know that I had primed pressure point, so I've almost maxed ranked that individual and slapped that on there, but it was also suggested that I slap on Condition Overload, and I can see how that would be useful. It was also suggested, and this makes perfect sense to me, that Condition Overload would be more useful in Steel Path. The reason being that we get so much more damage on that first hit, like just inherently, with primed pressure point, whereas Condition Overload requires us to build up to that damage, right? Like the first hit isn't necessarily going to do it. Plus it's a 52.8% chance over here to apply one of the following 5 statuses, I assume, or is that 50% for all of them all at once? Look, regardless, there's no guarantee that every hit is going to apply every status and thus get us the biggest damage, but hypothetically speaking, once we have all statuses applied, then Condition Overload will win out damage-wise. That's how I understand it. So Condition Overload's probably going to be better for enemies that take more hits. So using it right now, I imagine it's really probably only going to be super useful against the likes of Nox and whatnot. So that's why I've gone for a primed pressure point currently. And then, later on I can swap out Condition Overload should I so desire. Otherwise, it was actually suggested to me that I build for critical chance, which I haven't done in quite some time, and you don't have to do any convincing to get me to build for critical chance. So more than happy to do that. And of course, we've kept Vicious Frost, Virulent Scourge, and thrown Molten Impact on there as well on the advisement of chat, because apparently heat was a good way to go. Honestly, I don't believe it. I was a little, I was hesitant. I was resistant to Sevagoth, mostly because he's an enormous edgelord, and people call him Seva Daddy or Seva God, and I gotta be honest, part of me deep inside, it makes me cringe a little bit. I'm throwing no shade, I'm just bearing my soul to you here, I'm just being honest. But now that I've played him, yeah, I'm not 100% sold on the Shadow. I'm treating it more as an oh shit button, really. Plus, of course, there is the literal oh shit button component of it that is the passive, which I did get to work a couple times, and it's good. I like it quite a bit. It's probably more usable than Inaris, for example, because we have a little more control. That being said, the way that the Shadow behaves like a projectile exclusively in that mode is a little bit annoying, and depending where you die, it can get really annoying. Like, if you're near a lot of stairs, it's almost unusable, which is a shame. But I could see him actually being really quite useful in open world. We did some bounties on stream today, and yeah, I was like, you know what, I like it. This is good. This is working for me. I'm fully here for it. Plus, I've nailed down his fashion. I quite like what we got going on here. Gold with the white, immaculate style, little bit of perp, repping the perp, the Protavir ephemera, shark head. Alright guys, I want to finish off with some housekeeping. So we've hit 25,000 subscribers, and firstly I want to thank you guys for that. I love that you guys are enjoying the videos. I like making them for you. It's a beautiful time to be alive. So to celebrate 25,000 subs, I'm going to be doing another Q&A video. If you slide on over to the community tab here on YouTube, I've put a post there that you can comment on and ask you questions. Anything at all, questions about Warframe, other games, life, career, whatever you want. And next week we're going to do a big old Q&A video again, which will be a lot of fun. Secondly, I've decided that from this point forward, I'm going to be playing without creator mode on. Reason being that, firstly, I think the statute of limitations on spoilers for New War has passed. I think for the most part, most people have watched New War at this point. But also, I'm starting to get into some parts of the game that will sort of be ruined for me a little bit if I have creator mode on. We dealt with that today in the stream, and I'm lucky that chat told me to turn creator mode off, because otherwise I would have missed something that was really, really pog-worthy. So just fair warning that from now on, we're going to be running with full spoilers regarding New War. So I'll probably put a community post up about this as well, just so we can hopefully reach as many people and warn as many people as possible. All right, guys, thank you very much for watching. Be excellent to each other, and I'll see you next time. Ricky Summer, out.